So, what is the perfect gift for an atheist? Is it, just another book that confirms what they already think? Or could it be something that claims to have what no one else does? Actual, definitive proof? Well, today we're digging into a promotional article that makes a really specific and honestly pretty bold claim. Let's dive in. And this is really at the heart of the article we're looking at. It poses a pretty powerful question, right? In a world filled with endless debate, what would a final answer on the existence of God even look like? I mean, could that answer really truly be found inside a book? Okay, so here's the plan. First, we'll look at what the article says makes the perfect gift for an atheist. Then, we'll dive into this supposed gap on the bookshelf. After that, we'll get to the solution they propose, unpack the, well, pretty wild theory behind it, see what benefits it promises, and wrap up with the final argument. All right, so let's jump right into the first part. The whole journey starts with this one big idea. What really separates a good gift from a great one when you're buying for a serious thinker? So right off the bat, the article basically draws a line in the sand. It's saying, look, this isn't about finding the loudest, most aggressive anti-religious book out there. No, a truly valuable gift, according to this piece, is one that actually respects an atheist's intelligence. It's got to have solid evidence, give them sharp tools for debate, and offer a real framework for deep understanding. And that distinction, it's really key, because it's setting up a problem that the article is just about to get into. Okay, so where does the argument go from there? Well, the article claims that if you were to sneak a peek at the typical atheist bookshelf, you'd find a huge gap. You know the ones? The article points to all the big names in atheist literature. We're talking the Dawkinses, the Hitchenses, the usual suspects. And hey, it gives them credit for their importance, but it also says they all kind of stop short. They argue from probability, or history, or ethics, but, and this is the key point the article makes, they never deliver that one complete systematic proof that just closes the case for good. And this is a really clear way to see that content and product gap the article is talking about. So on the one hand, you've got your informational reads. Yep, the classics we just talked about. But on the other hand, there's this supposed need for transformational frameworks. We're talking about books that don't just give you information, but that offer systematic proof, provide tools for healing, and make the pretty huge claim of being genuinely life-changing. So what's supposed to fill this gap? Well, the article presents its solution as something way bigger than just another book. It's framed as a groundbreaking discovery. And here it is. The solution is a 4-part book series by an author named Senad Dzardarovich. And just listen to this title. It is a very bold statement. It claims to be the first valid evidence in history that God does not exist. I mean, wow. The article basically positions this series as the answer that atheists have been waiting for all this time. Now, I think the phrasing here is really interesting, right? The article isn't just selling a book. It's basically marketing a conclusion. It's a final argument, something you can literally gift to someone to, just end the debate. The idea is that it's a structured proof that, at least in theory, the person who gets it can study, test out, and then share with others. Okay, and this is where things take a turn into some, let's just say, really unconventional territory. The proof that's being offered here is based on a super complex cosmology that the author says he's uncovered. So this quote from the first book really sets a dramatic stage. It challenges our entire sense of self and reality. So what on earth is this theory that's claiming our lives aren't even our own? Well, at the very heart of the author's argument, again, according to the article, is this thing called the karmic organization. It's described as this secret group of beings, called karmicons, who are basically pulling the strings and controlling all of humanity from behind the scenes. And get this, they're the ones who supposedly create all religions and script our lives, right down to the very last detail. Okay, let's unpack this, because it's a lot. So the theory goes that we humans are essentially live costumes for beings from other planets called incarnates. Yeah, our lives, our thoughts, even when we die, it's all just scenes in some pre-written cosmic play. And all the world's religions, just fictional tools this system uses to keep everyone under control. And the author says he knows all this because he had a personal awakening to something called pure awareness, which let him see this whole hidden structure. So the book series is structured to take you on a step-by-step journey. It kicks off by presenting the evidence and the author's own story. Then it dives deep into exposing this whole karmic system. After that, it offers actual practical tools for healing. And finally, it lays out this grand vision for a new humanity, one that's totally free from this cosmic control system. All right, so beyond this absolutely massive theory, what does the article claim the reader actually gets out of it all? Well, the benefits it promises are both intellectual and, it seems, deeply personal. And according to the source, the benefits are pretty significant. As you can see, the biggest pieces of the pie are personal validation, that feeling of, I knew something was off, and psychological healing from all that religious guilt and fear. But the article also claims the series can bring more harmony to your family and even lead to better relationships overall. And it gets even more specific than that. For your family, the idea is that this book can replace those heated, emotional arguments with a calm, structured reference point. For friends, it helps them understand where you're coming from beyond, just snarky comments. And in a business context, this is interesting. The article suggests it can actually signal that you're a critical thinker, honest, and independent. And that brings us to the article's big finish, a powerful call to action that's all about turning a simple gift into a truly life-changing event. And the timing they suggest is no accident. The article specifically links this gift to the new year, a symbol of fresh starts and new beginnings. The pitch is super clear. Start this year with the truth. It's framing this simple act of giving these books as offering someone a roadmap to a brand new life, a life of total freedom from religious control. And that really leaves us with a final, big question to chew on. The article we've just unpacked presents a book series that claims to be a final argument. But in a debate about faith, belief, and existence, a debate that has literally spanned millennia, what does the very idea of proof even mean? And what does it really take for any piece of evidence, no matter how it's presented, to actually change someone's mind? Something to think about.